This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, Arizona. Brother Mike is back on the radio, 1010 AM Christian Radio. Well, welcome to the program. Thank you for tuning in. Today's Bible study. Oh my gosh, here we go again. Hillsong Horrors. Today on Hardcore. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them radio program's on? I'll do my announcements and then we'll get to the horror of Hillsong. The devil is running amok. It's unreal. This is Brother Mike. I am the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center, 40 years. Been on the radio 20 years. We're downtown on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. HardcoreChristianity.com is the website. We have all kinds of ministry services on the website. We have a live services Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific and Arizona time. We have a live Zoom deliverance service every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific and Arizona time. We have different seminars for children, for women. I have a monthly seminar. I have a teaching class on deliverance and healing every month, fourth Saturday of every month at noon. If you need a religious exemption, send me an email, mike@hardcorechristianity.com. If you need a donation receipt for your donations for 2022, send me an email. If you need the miracle list, a step-by-step guide to healing and deliverance that works 100% of the time, send me an email. Please remember to hit the PayPal button again as you have over the years, and thank you for supporting us. Don't forget about my Sunday podcast at 9 a.m. in the morning, 9 a.m. in the morning, Pacific and Arizona time. All this information is, of course, on the website. Hillsong Horrors. I've gone over this numerous times on the radio program over the years. I've hit a lot of different themes over the years, trying to help people, trying to warn people, trying to have people guard their families and their spiritual lives. I've been doing this for years now, as you well know. These mega churches are many of them are cauldrons of corruption, and nobody knows what's going on behind the scenes except the small group that runs the mega church. All mega churches are run by a very small group of people that center around usually one specific figure. They have their own insulation that nobody knows about. Well, Hillsong had that. As you know, there are super-powered sexual perversion demons in this Hillsong system. It's been exposed numerous times lately, but what people don't know is that, as I've said over the years, about 250,000 times, church scandals always involve one of two things, sex or money. Those are the two things that make the entire world go round, so to speak. And Hillsong is loaded with both. Okay, they bought up in the Maricopa County, Arizona. I think they bought up 5 churches here, and they're continuing to expand. And it is incredible. The new senior pastor of Hillsong is a guy named Phil Dooley. He replaced the founders of Hillsong, Brian Houston and his family. He replaced them after all these church scandals broke out. Okay, well, now the Australian government is coming after them, and a guy named Andrew Wilkie from the Australian Parliament is researching the church, and he got a hold of a whistleblower who had a stack of documents from the inner circle at Hillsong. And I mean, it is extremely embarrassing. It's extremely embarrassing. And he's accusing the church of money laundering, tax evasions, and shopping sprees that would, quote, embarrass a Kardashian. Now, just because he said those things doesn't make it true, but those are pretty frightening words when you apply them to a supposed Christian organization, thumbing through the records, he noticed that money was being pilfered out of the system like you can't believe, to all kinds of different sources. And a lot of this information is very scary. For example, in 2021, during the COVID-19 pandemic in Australia, 4 members of the Houston family jetted off with friends to Cancun, America, and had a luxury vacation during COVID for 3 days and billed the church $150,000 for the vacation. Brian Houston frequently used private jets on a regular basis to travel. In one 3-month period, Brian Houston's trips cost the church $55,000, $52,000, $30,000, $22,000, and $20,000 per trip. Per trip. Phil Dooley, who is now the head of the organization, and he takes the same trips. One trip he spent $58,000 in flights alone for he and his daughter to Guatemala. $42,000 in business class flights to Mexico. $32,000 from Cape Town to Sydney through the United States. What's happening here? This is your typical megachurch where you have the internal management teams literally running amok with sex and finance scandals. Quote, misappropriation of funds, unquote, is very common in a megachurch. The vast majority of ministries are on the up and up. The vast majority of churches are on the up and up, okay? Some of the ministries are exceptional. For example, HardcoreChristianity.com pays 0 money per year in salaries. I do not take a salary. My wife does not take a salary. We donate all of our salary back to the ministry and back to the Lord. But to give you an idea of what they do over at Hillsong, $6,500 for a watch for Brian Houston's wife, Bobby. $2,500 in Louis Vuitton luggage. $2,500 in a watch for Phil Dooley. 2 watches worth $15,000 were spent for Joel and Julia Abel, one of the ministers in the system. They went on shopping sprees at Saks Fifth Avenue. They spent $16,000 for custom skateboards. Can you believe that? Oh, Mike, you're making this up. Hey, this is the Whistleblowers Records. They spent $15,000 for Karen Kiddo's 50th birthday party. $36,000 for Gary Clark's 30th anniversary party. $4,300 for his 60th birthday party. $30,000 were given to board members. Can you imagine that? A piece. None of this is real. But it is real. It seems unreal. Chris Hodges runs the Church of the Highlands. It's one of the largest churches in the United States. Paul Lejeune, founding pastor of Life Church. Multiple campuses all around New Zealand and Australia. Both of them came to speak at Hillsong. Both of them investigated the 2019 sexual misconduct claims against Houston and his dad. Paul Lejeune got $10,000 So did Chris Hodges for investigating the scandal. $1 million a year went to the Hillsong musicians. Brian Houston's son, Joel, got $1 million for playing his instruments for the Lord. The document showed there was a $60 million loan from Hillsong. Can you imagine that? They gave out loans of $50 million. It's hard to believe this kind of thing goes on. Honorariums are paid out like crazy. Joyce Meyer came to Hillsong to speak. They gave her $160,000. She came another time. They gave her $133,000. The third time she came, she got $100,000. The fourth time she came was a bummer. She only got $32,000. T.D. Jakes came to speak twice. 3 times. $71,000. $120,000. $77,000. This is per speaking engagement. Carl Lentz, the guy that got fired from New York, from the largest Hillsong church in the United States, he was having a long-term affair, cheating on his wife. You know what his salary was? $220,000 a year. Most of it was tax-free. Tens of thousands of dollars went to that guy. Can you imagine that? I mean, this stuff's real, folks. These mega churches act like they answer to no one. They act like they're completely in charge, and they have a special dispensational grace from God to spend God's money any way they want to. Any way they want to. Okay? In the ministry at hardcorechristianity.com, I keep a receipt for everything, even a gas receipt. $5. I keep the receipt and total it up every year. I have receipts for everything. I have 0 salary paid out for me or my wife. Nothing goes out in salary. But you get involved in some of these mega churches, friends, you're walking into the lair of Satan. They are enormously, enormously dangerous, loaded with kundalini, sex scandals, and finance scandals. If you were attending a mega church, you probably picked up kundalini spirits. You need to come for deliverance. 602-636-5800. May God have mercy on their souls.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.